Hello and welcome to this video on simplifying expressions with indices. So I recommend you would pause the video and attempt these problems beforehand and see how you go with them. Now let's check it out. So here we go. I can notice straight away in this problem that there's a negative index. So I want to rewrite this first term with a positive index using this fact. All right, I'm going to rewrite this as 1 over something to the positive 2. And that something is 4e squared f cubed 2. I just like to work with positive numbers better, so that's why I'm doing this. This is already positive, so I'll just rewrite them straight down. And then here, I can actually rewrite this as over 1. And then I look at it and it's just multiplying two fractions. So multiplying fractions, we do numerator times numerator and then denominator times denominator. So taking this across, we can rewrite them over the same fraction sign. And this will just be e to the 6 f to the 3 squared over, denominator times denominator, 4e squared f cubed 2. And it says simplify, so we've got to keep going. Let's bring that down. Now, which of our index laws could help us expand these brackets? Looking over here, there's brackets, so it's going to be one of these. Can you work out which one it will be? Okay, it's going to be this one, law 3. We've got something inside the brackets raised to that power. And it could also be law 4 as well. So let's expand it. So e to the 6, so expanding the brackets. Well, if we've got a bracket separating them, you've got to times the powers. That's the key with this. You raise everything to that power. So on the denominator, I'm going to have 4 raised to the power. So that's applying law 4, I think. AB to the m is the same as a to the m, b to the m. So 4 to the 2, e to the 2 squared means e to the 2 times 2. F cubed squared, you multiply the powers. And let's keep going. Okay. I need more space actually. Okay. So now, let's simplify these. E to the 12, f to the 9, 3 times 2 is 6, 4 squared, 16, e to the 2 times 2 is 4, f to the 6. And then looking over here, because I've just run out of space sadly, we can now, so we've simplified on numerator, simplified on denominator, now let's bring it all together. Okay, so I'm just focusing on that. This 1 on 16 stays there. Now remember that fraction sign means divide. E to the 12 divide e to the 4 corresponds to law 2, where you subtract those powers. So we've got e to the 12 take 4. I'm going to choose the bigger number to stay there because then my answer will be positive. And then f to the 6, f to the 6, 6 take 6. And let's see what we've got. So simplifying that, e to the, 12 take 4 is 8. F to the 0, what do we know about the 0 power? That's 1, right? F to the 0, anything to the 0 is 1. So we don't even have to write it. So our answer is e to the 8 on 16. Okay, looks a bit intense, but just break it down. You've got this. Okay, let's check this out. So, okay, let me see. All right. So at first, I see some brackets there, and I think, yeah, I should probably expand them first. So 21, x to the negative 2, y to the 3, And let's expand those brackets. Now, if I've got something raised to a power, everything inside of that brackets must be raised to the power. So I'm going to say 3 raised to the power of 3. X to the negative 1 and raised to the power of 3. If I look at that, that's x to the negative 1 raised to the power of 3. And we have a rule for that, where you times the powers. So x to the negative 1 times 3, y to the negative 2 times the powers. And let's simplify it a little bit. 21, x to the negative 2, y to the 3 stays the same. So 3 squared is 9 times 3 is 27 on the denominator. X, negative 1 times 3. Well, 3 times 1 is 3. Different signs means negative. 2 times 3 is 6. Different signs means negative. So we have simplified on the numerator and denominator. Now let's simplify across the thing. So I'm looking at it like this now. I'm looking at it like that. So, is there a common factor between these normal numbers that you can see? Because we want to simplify the fractions. Good work. The common factor is 3. So we're going to divide by 3 on the top and the bottom. So 21 divided by 3 is 7. 27 divided by 3, well, 9 3s are 27. And then let's look at simplifying this bit. So I can say x. Okay, if I want to make it positive, I will I'm going to bring that x to the negative 3 up to the numerator. So we're going to have x to the negative 2, and it becomes x to the positive 3 if I bring it up to the numerator. So I'm just going to write that as that. And then what have we got? So then we've got y cubed. If I bring that y to the negative 6 up to the numerator, it becomes y to the positive 6. And we know about multiplying. All right, so if we've got y cubed times y to the 6, we add those powers. Add the powers. So that's going to be 3 plus 6. Now, let's try get this done by the 10-minute mark. Okay, so that's a key fact there. If numbers are written next to each other, they're being multiplied. So let's simplify it a bit. 7, 9, x to the negative 2 plus 3. Negative 2 plus 2 gets me to 0. Plus another 1 will get me to 3. To plus 3. Y to the 9. And then that's all we can do. Maybe you want to get rid of that 1 there. But it's simplified as far as we can go. Now let's check out here what's going on. Looks like a bit of a nightmare, but that's okay. Okay. 2 fractions multiplied together. Do numerator times numerator, denominator times denominator. Let's bring it all together. So on the numerator, normal number times normal number. 14 times 2, 28. Then we've got a to the negative 2. Let's just rewrite them all next to each other. A to the negative 4, b to the 3, b to the 2. Just writing them all next to each other. And then we've got normal on the denominator, 10 times 16, 160. A to the 4, write the a's next to each other, and write the b's next to each other. And then I can see here, b to the 0 is just 1, actually, so I don't have to write it. Now let's have a look. Okay. Now let's condense. Remember, simplify numerator, then simplify denominator. So we've got, how do I bring those a to the negative 2, a to the negative 4 together? Well, when things are written next to each other, there's an invisible multiply sign. There's an invisible multiply sign. So a to the negative 2, a to the negative 4 is the same as a to the negative 2 times a to the negative 4. And what do we know about timesing expressions with indices? Well, we know that we add those powers. So we're going to have a to the negative 2 plus negative 4. And then we're going to have b to the 3 plus 2, since there's an invisible multiply sign. And then we've got a to the 4 plus negative 1, b to the negative 5. We're getting closer. Now I see that I can simplify that fraction a bit. Now, I know that 4 is a common factor. So 4 can help me simplify within that. So we've got 7 on the numerator, and we're going to have 40 on the denominator, and then make these out a little bit better. So a to the negative 2 plus negative 4, well, that gets me negative 6. B to the 5. A to the 4 take 1 is 3. B to the negative 5. And then, last little step, let's look at what we can do. Okay, so I am thinking we're going to bring that down and just make it positive straight away. So we've got on the denominator, a to the 3 plus 6. Bringing that down makes it a positive power. And then, let's see, I don't know, I'm just going to put b to the 5 plus 5. Because if I bring that up, it's going to become positive. Okay, I know it can be quite confusing. So let's have a look. 7 over 40, b to the 10, a to the 9. And that's as far as we can take it, because fractions are simplified and these bases are not the same. So I hope that that helped. These are the key takeaways. With negative indices, the sign of the index changes if you move the term between the numerator and denominator. And convert all terms to positive indices first, because it's easier to work with positive numbers. If you're lost, follow BIDMAS and expand those brackets first. If terms are written next to each other, they're being multiplied. So say if you had b to the 6, b to the 4, and you weren't sure whether to add or multiply the powers, put your invisible multiply sign, which means that that would be b to the 6 plus 4. Remember your invisible 1 coefficients and powers, and ensure your final answer is in positive indices. And I hope that helped, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye bye.